I'm trying to get released, man. I started with an FFL back in March 2022. It was supposed to be like a better opportunity coming from my last agency, and I'll be honest with you, it just hasn't panned out. My last company, in order to come here, I mean, I had to get a release, so like I can just go on with my career any other way that I chose to. Like now I'm trying to do the same after it's not working out. I gave it some time.
What company did you come from?
I worked at a company called Life.
Wow. I've heard a lot of stories of coming that company to this company, expect good things to happen. One gentleman I spoke to in Michigan, he brought his team. He comes in with this productive team of agents. The agents, one by one, get ripped off buying fake leads. He loses his entire team within 2 months. He had a thriving business collapses. All his agents leave.
That's exactly how it goes.
Did you have a team?
I did have it. All of them are mostly gone. They have a lead center there that doesn't really work. What we found out is that like they pretty much sell them over and over and over.
They're fake leads. A gentleman named Mark Dombrowski. And if you read that lawsuit, Family First Life and 9 insurance agents are being sued for $552,000. Americans are being bombarded with 50 billion robocalls per year. Anyone between 60 and 70 years old is getting 50 calls a day. They're not picking up the phone. I had a conversation recently with one of their recruiters named Brittany. Brittany said with a straight face, even after they got the cease and desist that says they can't lie to agents, hey, we've got no limit on leads, on exclusive leads. I guess it's very persuasive. That's what the guy in Michigan told me. They had such a persuasive sales pitch to get you in their system.
And especially coming from like a captive agency like I did, it just seemed like, at least from what they were pitching to us, it seemed like it was just going to be the perfect opportunity.
How many agents did you have?
I had about 12 agents coded to me.
These were productive people?
Yes, the agents who produced. All of them weren't top producers, right? But all of them could close. And then once you go from closing 10, 15 deals a month to not closing anything, either you've learned how to suck over the course of a month or something's off, either your lead source or like whatever is happening, right? You don't just forget how to sell. Like it's the same no matter where you go.
So you were convinced based on them telling you with a straight face that they have an unlimited number of exclusive leads at $11. You believed their story when they told you that?
Of course. It seemed like everyone was making money here. It seemed like the company was pretty profitable, so I didn't have any other reason not to.
They offered you a little bit more money as well?
We came from AIL, which is American Income. We were at 60% comps, right, contract. They were literally giving us a 120% contract, and they're basically telling us, yeah, we know you came from free leads, but we're going to give you guys this bump in contract, and then you guys can it just makes up the difference. Eventually, it was just me losing.
There is a tendency among humans to believe initially, especially if it's a major American corporation, at least you're going to give it a try. They're telling you they're exclusive leads. Of course you're going to do it, but you end up buying a batch of $1,000, $2,000, or $3,000 of leads per person. Is that pretty much what happened?
Pretty much, yes.
How much did you get robbed on those leads?
I'm just going to say well over like $5,000.
Is that per person or for all 12 agents?
No, that's for me personally. They were probably putting in anywhere from $200 to $400 a week. Me personally, because I'm a better producer. I'm a pretty good producer. I was at the other place. I wanted to make sure I was making more money than I was making at the other company. So I put a lot of money into my business. As a team, it had to be well over $10,000.
So you put $5K, $10K in lead and 11 agents.
Nope, 12 agents.
So Family First Life earned $10,000 selling you phony data.
Yep.
They got your contract. They promised come and go as you please, your business.
Yep, you're 100%. Bogus. Yep.
You hear this on my conversation with Brittany the recruiter. I'll call her Brittany the fraudster. You could take that video to court. Before you start suing anyone, if it's a major fraud like the Family First Life case is, tens of thousands of Americans they are defrauding, the Attorney General takes a long time to give shutdown orders and prosecute, but in the meantime, they give referrals to sue. What you're supposed to do is to give a detailed explanation of what happened to you, send it to the Florida Attorney General. Before you do that, you have to understand what crimes were committed. For the most part, any unethical business behavior is illegal.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's get a little bit more specific. I do know of a law that I'm aware of. It's called churning elder abuse. If any policies were sold, you'll notice that they're recommending that new agents sell a product called Americo. When they quote you that 120% contract, they're really quoting Americo at 120%. That's what you want to sell. I've noticed that the managers will replace these policies later once you indicate that you want to leave.
They even do it when you're active. I mean, we got what are called bounty leads. Literally.
You were buying bounty leads?
Yep.
They call them bounty leads?
They were called bounty, and they were supposed to be from agents who no longer worked with the company. But what we found out, some of the agents were still working with the company. They didn't know their book of business.
I'm sure as an experienced agent, you were really wanting the overpriced policies more than anyone else with Americo.
The way they pitched them to us, they were literally like, hey, these guys have Americo policy. It's just like a POS lead, which is just a policy owner service. But that's what we had at our old company. And you're just basically going to service their policy to see if they had any changes in anything, right? To see if we can get them a cheaper price. First off, none of those leads really even panned out because when we found out, like a lot of those people had just got sold 2 months previous. Like everyone was inside the year, so literally not only were they not willing to change their policies because they just got it sold, but if we would have sold them a new policy, that agent who we found out was obviously still working with the company would get their retention, their persistency messed up, and as well as get a chargeback.
In essence, you would be stealing from the previous agent.
Exactly.
Why was not Family First Life waiting a year so they can make a double commission for one whole first year, then another whole first year commission?
I guess because they had a lot of production requirements for Americo. But then if you sell that policy, they hit their production requirements with Americo. Because obviously Americo has a special deal with FFL. That's why they pitch it so hard. But once they hit that production requirement for whatever month they sold it, why not try to hit another production requirement with another? It makes sense.
So, Jimel, you're saying that something weird happened with their American contract and production? They were allowed to replace so many policies, meaning they oversold Americo for that particular month?
It could be any month, right? Because Americo and FFL, from my understanding, they have like some sort of special deal, which is why FFL really pitches Americo.
It's really overpriced. I learned that 35-year-old male non-smoker, good health, $250,000 insurance is $86 with Americo. A company like AIG, the same policy would be $21.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you're saying they overwent on their production requirement with Americo, so they want to get these policies replaced.
Yeah, that's what it kind of seemed like to me. You kind of make a double commission. Okay, Americo says we have to submit $1 million of coverage in the month of August. You saw a lot of Americo for that month, and then after that month pans on, it's already been submitted, right? Client's already paid. If you want to go in 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, replace it, guess what? You submit it with Mutual of Omaha, for instance. Hey, look, we submitted another $1 million with Mutual of Omaha. Same people. It just works out. If you're just trying to hit a production requirement or push production for a carrier, it's just going on submit. That's why Americo pays you issue rather than paying you when the policy is actually drafted.
Americo's special that they will charge back the commission if the client won't hold it for 3 months. They're not really losing money if they within the first 3 months. So they're not really pissed off. But what it does is it causes the initial agent to get all excited that he made a sale, and that causes that new agent to buy more leads.
Yep, 100%.
It sounds more like it's a lead scam. If they make 1 or 2 sales, they just plow that money into leads. You were more qualified than most people, so they wanted you around. And as a manager, this is how they keep people like yourself happy, by ripping off the new age that don't know what they're doing.
That makes a lot of sense.
But you realize that anytime you deal with fraudsters that are ripping off other people, eventually they rip off you.
100%. That's what I'm saying now, which is why I'm trying to get released.
Has your turn come around to get ripped off?
Oh, yeah.
How long have you been with Family First Life?
Since March 2022.
That was after the cease and desist.
I didn't even know about that. They didn't make us aware about a cease and desist when we signed
if
contract.
you Google the word Family First Life, FTC, cease and desist. So these agents that you replace their policies because you were given the data, are you in contact or you know these people's names that you replace their policies?
I could probably find it in HCMS. They're not people I contact every single month. Technically, they are clientele, right? They're in my book of business.
I'm talking the agents that got messed up.
Oh, no.
Was there a replacement form that had to be filled out?
No, we were saving them money.
I believe in the insurance industry, if you replace a policy, you have to fill out
1035 replacement form.
Did these new companies require it?
No, at least unto what we were told, no.
Management said you don't have to fill out a replacement form?
We were never told about a replacement form because technically we weren't replacing their coverage. We were finding them a better price. So we weren't telling them to cancel anything or anything like that.
But most of them I was canceled.
Yeah, I guess so.
At a later date. So technically it wasn't a replacement, additional coverage, which eventually will cause the first one to say, hey, why am I paying so much for that?
That's what I would assume, yeah.
What company did you send people to for the most part?
Mutual of Omaha is really big. Their prices are pretty aggressive. It wasn't ever a specific carrier we had.
An agent told me that the managers were switching people to AIG.
Mutual of Omaha is super competitive, though. It's like half the price of Americo.
Well, they've got policies. They've got a competitive one and a non. So if you're getting better coverage, you go for the most.
Yeah, 100%.
So you have a list of all the sales. Let's say Joe Smith, they called them bounty leads.
They were bounty. Now, we didn't have any contact with the agent. What they told us was that these agents were, and they were old policies, right? Old books of business. But what we found out were that literally these agents just sold these policies 6 months ago.
There was still commission coming in, so they were double dipping to an.
Yes.
Any of them 1 year?
I don't think I ever came across anyone that was over a year old. Maybe 11 months, but me personally, like there was a lot. They had our whole team, not just my downline, a bunch of others in our team. So like there was a lot of leads to go around. I'm sure other people encountered that. Me personally, I don't think I've had anyone that was, if I remember correctly, about 9 months. That was the
so in essence, these new agents were acting as fronters for more experienced agents.
Yes. Pretty much. And then a more mature agent comes in, says, why did he get you that carrier when you can get this for this amount? Like, oh, I don't know. I guess he was new. And then it's the easy sell.
So you didn't have to tell them to replace it or stop payment. They would do this on their own without you being involved.
I can assume that's what they did.
Are they running out of these bounty leads because less new insurance agents are coming into their system?
I have no idea. They don't have them access like on the CRM that they sell leads. We literally got it from our upline.
The upline was really trying to get in your good graces when you first came in the system?
Exactly.
And what was that upline's name?
So this is a weird story, a super weird story. So our upline he was from AIL as well, right? He was one of the SGAs at AIL, and he actually retired, quote unquote. He striked up a deal with Sean Mike and kind of had things, I don't know a lot about the back office, like deals that they took on or whatnot. He had some special deal where he was kind of running the organization instead of running the organization like with his actual face, because he had a 2-year non-compete with the other company we left. So legally, he would still be entitled to everything that AIL owes him, I guess. Yeah, and his name was Zach.
And eventually he fell out of the good graces of FFL, and that's why you realize it's a terrible deal?
Honestly, I was just trusting the team, right? Trusting the process. Or I was just trying to assume, like, okay, this is a growth stage right now. Growth stages are always a little trying, a little where you might lose a little bit of money. But it just became to a point where nothing was getting fixed. None of the promises that we were told to come over here were kept. I'm better off just getting my contracts released and going to another company because, like, I can do this. I've made a lot of money in insurance. Like, now I'm just like, I'll go to another company. And now they won't release me.
When you first came in, the wording was come and go as you please. You could build your business, take it with you. And you'll see that by looking.
No contracts, they said that.
No contracts. Like as if you're supposed to know that there's an internal contract between the insurance company, Family First Life, and you, which you're not aware of.
Yep.
As if you're supposed to know about.
And no way we could have.
They're advertising on ZipRecruiter. You probably didn't record any of the conversation. In the state of Florida, you're not allowed to record conversation, but get some sort of proof or affidavits from other people that you were promised that come and go as you please, which you'll see on the class action lawsuit. You would make a really good complaint to the Attorney General. The Attorney General knows about this company. They're really interested in these bounty leads, which in essence are replacing policy. You know the business. The Attorney Generals don't. You could explain to them when you get people 4 times more coverage for the how much more did you get for, let's say, the good policy with Mutual of Omaha versus Americo?
You could pretty much double the coverage for the same amount of money, or like literally cut the premium in half for the same amount of coverage. So it was a significant difference.
The expectation is that they're going to cancel the policy.
If I were in, then that's what I would do.
Were these whole life policies, any of them?
Mutual of Omaha could be a whole life policy with Americo.
I mean, the policies that you sold.
There were some Eagle levels on there, yeah. Yeah,
okay, 100%. That means the person was giving up cash value. They were giving up incontestability
period.
The obvious question is, why not just sell the better policy day one?
Because they push Americo.
Then they push you afterwards to replace Americo.
100%.
The Attorney General and the Department of Insurance have to know this. If it's a person over 65 years old, this is jail. Sean Mikey most likely will end up in jail. If this is systemic, which it is, this should be multiple years.
Crazy.
Obviously, you could tell Sean Mikey and his co-conspirators, hey, I'm going to do this, this, and this. They should give you a release in 20 seconds, but I have a feeling these people are so stupid. What you should do for the good of the rest of your fellow citizens is make the complaint to the Attorney General, explain to them exactly what happened. happened, you could always negotiate with Mr. Mikey a day afterwards. By the time he finds out you made a complaint to the Attorney General and the Department of Insurance, it'll be multiple weeks.
Yeah, 100%. Probably months.
It'll take them a while before they find out. In the meantime, you could always call them up after, hey, if you don't give me a rule tomorrow, here's the letter going to the Attorney General. That's really all you could do. You could say your brother's an attorney or you love lawsuiting people. It's fun for you. You've done it multiple times. If they believe you, they'll give you a release. Just as a human, as a citizen, you should inform the Attorney General and Department of Insurance.
Yeah, just for everyone else.
They're systemically ripping off
100%.
these insurance agents that you have replaced. They just came in believing that they're going to become rich by working for this company. They didn't know they had no chance.
I mean, we thought we were literally thinking, oh yeah, we'll triple our income coming.
But they were nice to you the first couple of months, using you to rip off other people. But eventually, it's your time to get ripped.
And they'll always get new people coming in just by the way they advertise, their social media presence.
They ignore the Federal Trade Commission cease and desist. Jimel, it says here you're on caller ID. And what city are you from?
I'm in Florida, Jacksonville.
How many policies have you sold?
Over 9.
And how many of these were not replacement from Bounty?
Anywhere from 80 to 75.
So you only made about 15 Bounty leads.
It's hard to sell one of those Bounty leads just because they literally were just getting their policies a few months ago.
Did you listen to them and take their advice of selling Americo?
I mean, when we came here, we thought Americo was the best deal until we found out it wasn't.
You ever use a calculator and figure out that it's tremendously overpriced?
When we first came in the company, we didn't have access to what was called Insurance Toolkit, which is basically a quota for all the insurance carriers in the country. We didn't have that. So if they could qualify for Americo, we were selling them Americo. If they couldn't qualify for Americo, okay, we'll give them Mutual or Aetna. But then we got Insurance Toolkits, and we were like, why in the world were we selling so much Americo? It's so expensive compared to everything. And the only reason we were doing it is because they pushed Americo super hard.
So that's what the new agents happened. Then you came afterwards and replaced their policy. Other agents didn't know what.
Yeah, 100%.
They really don't give you access to the Insurance Toolkit unless you're there for a couple of months.
We found out about Insurance Toolkits ourselves. They didn't even tell us about it.
They were telling you that Americo is the best deal, the best policy, the best for the client, and you believe them.
Yeah, 100%.
Jimel, are you relatively new in the business?
As far as a broker, yeah, I am new. I'm less than a year. But I've been in the insurance industry under a captive agency for about 5 years.
You don't shop the market, and you're primarily selling whole life.
Yeah, I'm selling one policy through one company.
Then they give you a bunch of Bounty leads to replace these policies, and you're like, maybe I shouldn't be selling that.
You live and you learn.
Have your original policies gotten replaced yet?
I haven't seen anything fall off. Well, I mean, I've seen, obviously, policies fall off for whatever reason, but they haven't brought to my attention that they replaced.
Because there's not a replacement form.
Yeah, I guess that would be true.
There's no replacement form. How many of those policies drop?
My retention is pretty high, about 92, 93%.
Okay, so they have not systemically replaced your policies yet. When they find out that you're trying to get a release and you leave, is that when the replacements are going to start?
I would hope not.
If they give your data of your sales to another agent who they're trying to give good stuff to, that's likely to happen.
I wouldn't doubt it.
But it has not happened yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I spoke to a woman in Oklahoma. She sold 100 policies, 85 canceled. They just gave her sales to someone. And that's why there's no replacement form. You're technically not replacing. You're adding to the coverage. And on their own, they stop paying for the other.
Yeah.
How old are you, by the way?
I'm 25.
I don't know what you look like. African American, a little bit Hispanic. Would that describe you in any chance?
Sort of, yeah. Kind of have.
Especially young, no matter what you look like, they're definitely going after younger people. In previous times when they were posting a lot of stuff on Facebook, they're particularly going after female, African-American females. There's a video I posted online about MLMs and cult that states that 75% of cult, let's say multi-level marketing victims are females, in particular because it involves final expense insurance, and Black Americans are more likely to buy that. So they're really targeting that group.
That demographic.
That demographic. You do know English pretty well. Younger Black Americans are being hammered by this. Most people have credit cards, and they really want you to buy that first batch of leads.
I can definitely see that.
So what's $1,000 when you can make a ton?
Exactly.
You'll get this filed. Tell the powers to be at Family First Life that you're going to file, and you may be pleasantly surprised they give you a release.
I hope so.
But still file. It won't matter one way or the other. It's not going to be part of the contract. Can't tell the truth to the Department of Insurance. One thing has nothing to do with the other.
Yeah, they're not mutually exclusive.
I'm going to tell you right off the bat, if you go through my 44 videos, you are talking about a criminal enterprise that is designed
100%.
specifically to rip off people that sort of look like you, which is not a pleasant thing. Generally, when you go to those the shopping mall and you see someone who looks like you and talks like you have some sort of a connection, there's a decent chance if you've got something in common with someone, he may see that let's earn $250,000 at Family First Life. All you have to do is chunk in that first $1,000 of leads to get started. My conversation with the recruiter was weird. I told her I was a truck driver, but years ago I call center, I was pretty good on the phone. She told me with a straight face multiple times that being good on the phone doesn't matter. She's almost telling me skills don't really matter. What matters is being dedicated and following our directions, which is completely
100%. That's what they say.
which is completely laughable. Do me a favor, Jimel. File this darn complaint. Once you negotiate with Family First Life and they understand that you're cognizant of what's going on and you know the step and you have a mano-mano conversation with them, if they feel that you're actually going to follow through, they're going to give you that release in 20 seconds, because if they don't, all it does is make the damages more when you do end up in court. I'll supply probably 10 or 20 witnesses at any trial that happens, but before you file a regular lawsuit, it's always good to give it to the Attorney General first. Nothing like getting a referral to sue. Give every piece of information to them so they want to give you a gift. When you get a referral to sue from the Attorney General, it's almost like you won the lottery.
Do you have an email address or anything like that?
I'm going to give you my website. It's naip.org. My company offers free websites, free quote engines to anyone who sells insurance. Sign up for that. You'll be on my email list. Look at those videos that are on there. There's about 44 videos by now. So when you write the letter to the Attorney General, which you're going to CC to the Department of Insurance, the Department of Labor, the state representative, and your state senator, if you provide them this information, which you told me, they will give you a referral to sue because you're providing them spot on, valuable information. They will want to gift you a gift, which is a lot of money. Buying this $10,000 a lead, losing your team over some promises is a real loss.
Oh yeah, major loss.
Like you lost a business. You basically, they stole your business. Their promise stole a business.
100%. It really did.
I would give you $500,000, but you have to file for me to be on a jury.
100%.
Only get that over to the Attorney General, then do the negotiations after.
Okay.
I appreciate the fact that you watched this video till the very end. It is understood that the information that was revealed on this phone call is thoroughly convinced you, in seeing this video, are a witness to a crime. I encourage you to provide this information into our entire Family First Life playlist to your state Department of Insurance, your state Attorney General, state representative, state senator, in the FTC fraud hotline. I did not reveal the full names of the Florida insurance agent that called my office and his upline on this video. Please call my office at naip.org and I can provide you that information. In order that the YouTube algorithm shows this video to more people, a like is extremely helpful. Please note that I personally respond to every comment. See you next time.